Good morning, teachers. Some of you have requested some assistance with the Plickers accounts, so I wanted to go ahead and take some time and try to help you guys out with some of the ins and outs of the system, so you get some benefits out of using it. So you could start working on your bell work, your common formative assessments. Sorry, not your CFAs. Your check for understandings, your exit tickets, your summary questions, things like that. The benefit is that if you set this up correctly, you can get all of those types of questions done in one fell swoop. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you, all right, is that you're going to have to set up classes, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to set up a new class. Okay, if you look over here in the bottom left hand corner, you'll see the button that says new class right there. You're going to click on new class. Okay, delete my annotations. We're going to click on new class. All right, and you will see, come bring this down, oops. You will see the option to sit there and enter a class name. We'll sit there and say this is demo class 1. Okay, check. So demo is ready. All right, once you've got to this point here, the next step is going to be to add students. So you can click on add students. You can either type your students in if you want to, or you can do as we did in the class dojo video. Go into PowerSchool, go to students, copy the list of students you got, and then paste them in. But for the sake of argument today, I'm just going to go ahead and type in Hale Walter, so you can see my name. All right, and then that's it. Well, if it does what it should have done, Hale and Walter. All right, and you'll see that it automatically puts it first name, last name. All right, once you've got your student names in, you're going to go ahead and hit next, and you're going to sit there and you can either leave them as entered, okay, or you could sort by first name or sort by last name. However you want to do it, then click done. All right, personally, I like as entered because if you're copying and pasting from PowerSchool, your names are already going to be in alphabetical order. So you click done. Once you've clicked done, okay, you can sit there and start noticing all your stuff down here. Okay, now if you have more than one student, okay, it'll show you a full list of all the students with their Plicker card numbers. All right, you want to make sure that each student gets their appropriate number. So to show you what that looks like, I'm going to click on one of my classes. All right, if you scroll down to the bottom, you can sit there and see my 13 students in that one class, which looks like I'm going to have to fix this because I still have students listed before my class has changed. And then you could go to print roster, and you can see when you print roster, you can see the numbers for the students beside the names. Okay, and if that way you could print them off if you need to. I prefer sorting by card number so you can see the order. Okay, each student will get this particular Plickers card. So make sure they get that card. You can print the roster off so you have a copy of it at all times, and you can move on. Okay. Some of the other things you can do with this, okay, you can sit there and go to Discover, and you can subscribe to certain classes. So like I've subscribed to middle school math since I'm teaching 6th grade. You can subscribe to, you got your social sciences, you got your sciences. If you don't see your class here, you can go to the bottom and actually search your subject. So you can find where your classes are at, all right? And your search subject button is down here at the bottom, okay? So don't ever, assume that just because you don't see it up here, it doesn't exist. That's not true, okay? All right. Oop, no, I guess, okay, there we go. So, all right, you got your miscellaneous subjects. So if you got PE or health and well-being, you got that there. You got pre-K through 5, which of course doesn't apply to us. Math classes. You got science classes. Surprisingly, oh, there you go. You got English, EFL, ESL at the top. So, I mean, every content area in the school has an opportunity to be able to use the Plickers cards. All right. Next, you can go to your library and see your Plickers cards. Okay. Not your Plickers cards, but the questions you create, which I'm going to show you how to create your questions here in just a minute. All right. You got a section tab that's recent, shows you where all of your where all your Plicker cards have been, what you've done with them, when the last time they were used. Okay. All right. And then you got a report section. So like on November the 3rd, I did a run through with my class just to practice the Plickers. We wanted to see how my kids did. So I did a quick run through, and as you can see, my kids did well on certain questions, and it shows you how they did. So I got one class that had a 72%. Another class had 91%. It shows you the score, but also shows you, and then you can click on it for further details. So you can see which students missed questions. You can see which students missed all the questions, which one got the questions right, who was half and half. And then you can also go in and take a look at each individual question. So like if I wanted to take a look at bell work question 2, I can see the particular students that missed that question. So I look at this and I said, okay, 16 got it right, 8 got it wrong. That means I only had 67%. I want 70-75% accuracy, so I'm going to review this question with them before I move on. Okay, so, and then you also have the score sheet option to where you can click on a class and see their scores for any assignment, anything they've done in this week. Okay, so you can always view their scores. That way, if you want to put this in your grade book, you can say, okay, this is what they did for the week. There's the average, so let's see how they did. And that's the grade they can put in at the end of the week if you want to. So we'll go back home. So creating a new set, okay? So you click on new set, and I'll show you again so I can circle it real quick for you, okay? New set right up here at the top, okay? New set is what you click on to create the set of questions that you're going to use for your bell work, for your check for understandings, for your exit tickets, that kind of stuff, okay? So that's what we click on. So new set, and this is where you're at. Now, what I do is, since my bell work questions, my check for understanding questions, and my exit ticket questions are already in my PowerPoint, I don't want to flip between Plickers and my PowerPoint every single time I have a question. So what I do to make it easy is I just say, okay, this is bell work number 1, bell work 1, all right, and then I choose which answer should be correct. So if the answer choice is B, I click B, and then I move on to the next question. How do I do that? I hit the plus button. Okay. Now, another thing you can do instead of having a question is, if you want to get an honest opinion of how the kids are doing, you can go to survey. Okay. All right. In survey, there's no right or wrong answer. So you can give them a feedback question. So something like, how are you feeling today? You know, a quick mental health question. All right. You can sit there and type in top notch. All right. So-so. Not well. And then need to talk. All right. By giving yourself a option for a question like this, you're allowing your students the ability to be honest about how they're feeling with you, instead of having to be able to put it out to everybody in the class. Because if you put this on your bell work, if you put this on your PowerPoint slide, okay, at that point there, when you start scanning your answers, you're the only one that's going to see these answers. They're not going to see what's on your phone or on your tablet, okay? So that's the best way to answer questions and things like that. All right, so you got those two options. You can run through it however you want to feel like, okay? Now, when it comes to scanning your cards, okay, and what I'm going to do is, let me see, I should have a, let's go back to home. We're going to close that out. All right, and we're going to go to, let me see. That's not what I wanted. My bad, guys. There's an option to, I'm trying to get back to it. It's been a while since I've had to do this. So if you go to help, you can get Plickers cards, which I want to do. So if I want to print my Plickers cards, okay, and the reason why I'm printing them because I want to show you something, okay? So if you look at these particular questions, okay, all right, if you want to look, when you're looking at these particular questions, all right, here's what I need you to pay attention to. The letters at the top of on the sides of the pages here, okay? Those letters identify the correct answer choice, all right? If a kid wants to choose B, they got to make sure the Plickers card is up with the letter B on the top, okay? If they want to choose C, they got to make sure C's at the top. And when they're holding their cards, you got to make sure that they're not covering up any of that black, because that black is what needs to be scanned. Each one of these is like a QR code. You cover up part of it, and you're not going to get the whole information. And when they choose their answer, they need to make sure they put their card back down on their desk, flat down with the black section on the table. That way it doesn't accidentally scan again, because I've had kids that have sat there and had the correct answer, but when I'm walking around, the card rescans and they get the wrong answer. And that's not fair to the kids. So make sure those cards are down with the black side facing the table, okay? That way there's no mistakes and no accidental scans. All right. Now, when you are trying to scan a card, okay, you go into your set. All right. Well, sorry, my bad. I didn't need to go to a set. Go to your library, okay, pull up an old set, okay, and we're going to play it. Play now, okay? P1 math class, all right? Now, I want to scan my kids, all right? And normally I'd be able to use this device to do it, but I don't like really using my tablet and my laptop. Take your phone. You should already have Plickers app downloaded on your phone, okay? When you got your Plickers app downloaded on your phone, you click the camera button at the bottom, all right? And you can hold up your camera and you can scan around the room. The kids hold up the cards. It takes about 30 seconds as long as the kids are holding up the cards. You scan around the room, all right? Once it sits there, and you know if you've got like 2 people absent and you got 26 cards, if you look at the bottom, it'll tell you how many cards have been scanned. So if you need to know how many students haven't answered the question, it'll tell you, okay, so there's 24 students in class today, but I've only got 21 cards scanned. You can sit there and say, look, I got 3 students who haven't scanned their cards yet. Let's make sure we're holding up a card. All right, and make sure it's held up high. All right, and you can call out names as they're scanning. You'd be like, all right, Zariah, fantastic job, put it down. Melanie, great job, put it down. Abigail, great job, put it down. And that way the kids know who's scanned and who hasn't. All right, these are just a couple of examples. If you have any more questions, if you have anything else you need to know, if I didn't answer something that you wanted answered, or if I've said something that might be a little confusing, come down to room 107. We'll run through it. Just make sure you bring your laptop or your cell phone with you so we can take a look at your Plickers account and we can go through this together. All right. So like I said, I'm here as your tool, as your resource. So make sure you use me as much as possible. Like I said, I'm here to help you. All right. We are a team. We are a family. We are going to work together, and we're going to make this dream big. All right. So go Treadwell Middle. Soar Eagles soar. We're going to soar high, and our kids are going to soar high. All right. Like I said, room 107 if you guys have any questions. All right. Love you guys. See you around.